What if I told you that there's an ancient power inside you, coiled at the base of your spine, waiting to erupt? A force so powerful, it can rewrite your reality, awaken hidden abilities, and even unlock memories from lives you don't remember living. But here's the catch. This energy isn't just about enlightenment. For some, it's a doorway to higher consciousness. For others, it's a descent into chaos. Welcome to Kundalini Awakens, where we uncover the truths of Kundalini and more. For centuries, hidden societies, yogic masters, and mystics have whispered about this secret energy, Kundalini. They call it the serpent power, a force that, when awakened, surges up the spine, exploding through the chakras, rewiring the mind and body. And yet, most people will never experience it. Why? Because it's been deliberately buried, locked away under layers of religion, skepticism, and fear. Ancient texts describe Kundalini as both a blessing and a curse. Some say it's the key to enlightenment, the divine connection between you and the universe itself. Others warn of madness, physical torment, and the collapse of everything you once thought was real. But here's what they won't tell you. Kundalini isn't just an energy. It's a reckoning. The moment it rises, it reveals everything: the trauma, the karmic imprints, the past, life wounds buried deep in your subconscious. You might think you know yourself now, but once this energy awakens, you will never be the same. Why do some people experience spontaneous awakenings while others spend years meditating, practicing, and waiting for even a glimpse of this power? Could it be that something or someone is controlling who gets access to it? This isn't just a mystical experience. Science is starting to catch up. Neurologists studying brain scans of Kundalini awakened individuals have found something shocking. These people exhibit brainwave activity unlike anything ever recorded. Their nervous systems go through transformations so profound, it's almost as if they're becoming a new kind of human. So, what happens when you unlock Kundalini? What's the connection between this ancient energy and the karma of your past lives? And the most important question of all, should you even try to awaken it? By the end of this video, you'll know the truth. But be warned, once you hear it, there's no going back. For centuries, the symbol of a coiled serpent has appeared in ancient cultures, hidden in plain sight. In Hinduism, it's called Shakti, the raw divine force lying dormant at the base of the spine. In Egyptian hieroglyphs, the uraeus, a cobra rising from the forehead, represents power, protection, and transformation. Even in Christianity, the image of the serpent isn't just about temptation, it's about knowledge. But knowledge of what? The truth about Kundalini has been fragmented, scattered across different traditions, and buried under layers of symbolism. Why? Because true power is never handed out freely. The deeper you dig, the more you realize those in control of this world don't want you activating it. Think about it. Why is modern spirituality focused on surface-level practices, manifestation, mindfulness, positivity? They tell you to think good thoughts, meditate for relaxation, and raise your vibration with affirmations. But they never talk about the real process, the one that forces you to confront everything inside you that is unhealed, dark, and unresolved. Because here's the truth, awakening Kundalini is not pretty. It is not peaceful. It is war. The ancient yogis knew this. That's why they spent decades preparing for it, purifying their bodies, training their minds, disciplining themselves. They understood that once the energy rises, it cannot be controlled. It will either elevate you or destroy you, depending on how much baggage you're carrying. And that baggage, that's where past life karma comes in. Some say Kundalini is a gift from the divine. Others claim it's a test, a filter that determines who is strong enough to handle ultimate truth. But there's another theory, one that suggests Kundalini isn't just a personal awakening, but something much bigger, something tied to the entire fate of humanity. And the strangest part, people across the world, completely unconnected, are experiencing spontaneous awakenings. No yoga, no breathwork, no years of practice. Just one moment, something clicks. A sudden rush of energy, a burning sensation in the spine, intense vibrations, out of body experiences. Why is this happening now? And more importantly, what does it mean for all of us? By the time we're done, you'll understand why this knowledge has been hidden for so long, and why those who try to awaken this power without preparation often regret it. Kundalini awakening isn't just a mystical event, it's a point of no return. Once the serpent energy rises, it doesn't stop. It forces you to face everything buried deep inside, your traumas, your fears, your unresolved past, and for some, that past isn't just from this lifetime. You've heard of déjà vu, those moments where reality glitches, where you feel like you've been somewhere before, met someone before, experienced something, but you can't explain why. What if these weren't just brain tricks? What if they were fragments of memory, echoes of past lives resurfacing? Kundalini doesn't just activate energy, it unlocks memory. And if you think past lives are just a spiritual fantasy, think again. There are hundreds of documented cases of people, especially children, who recall past lives with frightening accuracy. Names, places, events, details that are later verified. Some even speak languages they've never learned. How is that possible? Because karma is real. And it follows you. Every lifetime. Every action. Every choice. Like a cosmic ledger that never erases. When Kundalini awakens, it doesn't just clear the body's energy channels, it forces every unresolved karmic debt to surface. That's why some people experience intense suffering after an awakening. It's not because Kundalini is evil. It's because it's accelerating what was always coming for you. Think about it. Why do some people struggle with irrational fears from birth? Fear of drowning, fear of fire, fear of heights, even when they've never had a traumatic experience. Why do some people feel instantly drawn to or repelled by certain people? As if their souls already know something their minds have forgotten. Because they do. Kundalini forces remembrance. It shakes you awake. It dissolves the veil between lifetimes, showing you what you haven't healed. That's why people with a history of trauma, especially past life trauma, often experience violent physical and emotional reactions when their Kundalini rises. They relive moments that shouldn't belong to them. Some even speak in different voices. Others describe being pulled out of their bodies, watching visions of things they can't explain, feeling emotions that don't belong to them. Is it a gift? Or is it a curse? Maybe it depends on what you did in your past lives. And here's the terrifying part. Some people claim that Kundalini doesn't just reveal karma, it enforces it. If you've carried unpaid karmic debts, the awakening doesn't just remind you, it makes you live through it again. But this time, you're aware, and there's no escape. So why do people seek this out? Why would anyone risk it? Because on the other side of this chaos lies something incredible. Something that the ancient texts only hint at. A power beyond what we've been told is possible. But that power comes at a price. There's a reason Kundalini is called the serpent power, because once it awakens, it does not obey. It moves where it wants. It burns through every blockage, every illusion, every lie you've told yourself about who you are. And the deeper your karmic debts, the harder the process becomes. This is why some people experience blissful awakenings, while others spiral into months, sometimes years, of unbearable suffering. The question is, are these two different experiences or just different stages of the same process? Because here's the darkest truth about Kundalini. It doesn't just bring enlightenment. It forces you to pay your dues. Some people say that past life karma is like spiritual gravity. It holds you down, keeps you trapped in cycles, dragging the weight of actions you don't even remember committing. But when Kundalini rises, that gravity shatters. This is why those who awaken it too soon, without preparation, without understanding, often lose control of their lives. Sudden illnesses, nervous breakdowns, financial collapse, even near-death experiences. Is it just a coincidence? Or is it the debt collector finally knocking at the door? And if you think karma only affects you, think again. Because Kundalini awakening doesn't just expose your own karma, it can reveal the karmic ties you have with other people. That's why some relationships suddenly explode after an awakening. Longtime friends turn to strangers overnight. Marriages crumble. People who once felt like soulmates become unbearable to be around. Why? Because when Kundalini rises, it removes the illusion. It exposes the truth of your connections, stripping away all the layers of comfort, routine, and unconscious agreements. If you and someone else are only in each other's lives to balance past karma, Kundalini will show you. And if that karma is already complete, it will push them out of your reality, sometimes violently, sometimes overnight. Some say this is why so many spiritual teachers live in isolation. Once you activate Kundalini, you become a magnet for unresolved energies, your own and others. And unless you know how to navigate that, the world can start to feel like a war zone. But what if all of this, the karma, the suffering, the purification, is just the first stage? What if on the other side of this storm lies something so powerful, so world-changing, that those in control never wanted humanity to access it? Because there's a final secret about Kundalini, one that the ancient texts only hint at, one that spiritual traditions have fought to keep hidden. And if you think everything we've covered so far is intense, you haven't heard the most shocking part yet. Because here's the part they don't want you to know. Kundalini isn't just rising in individuals. It's rising in the world. Think about it. Why are so many people experiencing spontaneous awakenings right now? No teacher, no practice, no warning, just an explosion of energy that changes everything. Could it be that something is shifting, that we are on the verge of something massive? The ancient text spoke of cycles, ages of awakening and ages of sleep. They warned that when Kundalini begins rising on a large scale, it signals a massive shift in consciousness, or the end of an era. And this might explain why Kundalini has been hidden, suppressed, and distorted for centuries. Because if enough people fully activated this power, the current systems, political, economic, religious, would collapse overnight. Imagine a world where people aren't ruled by fear. A world where ancient karmic debts are finally resolved, where past life wounds no longer dictate our future. A world where consciousness itself evolves, breaking free from the repetitive loops of suffering. But there's a problem. Not everyone wants this awakening to happen. You've seen it. Society is designed to keep people asleep. And those who depend on keeping the masses in line, they will do everything to stop it. And maybe that's why Kundalini isn't easy to awaken. Maybe that's why past life karma comes crashing down when it does. Because only those strong enough to break through the storm can access the full potential of what lies beyond. So, the question is, do you dare? Because this journey isn't for the weak. Awakening Kundalini isn't about comfort. It's about confrontation. It's about facing everything you've been avoiding, everything you've been running from, not just in this life, but in every life before this one. But for those who make it through, the reward is unlike anything this world has ever told you is possible. And now, you have a choice. Stay asleep, or wake up. Because whether you're ready or not, Kundalini is rising. The final and most shocking truth about Kundalini is this: it's not just an energy, it's an intelligence. This isn't just about chakras, meditation, or spiritual enlightenment. This force, once activated, seems to know exactly what it's doing. It moves with purpose. It targets the deepest wounds, the unresolved karma, the layers of illusion you've built over lifetimes, and it tears them apart. But here's where things get even stranger. People who undergo a full Kundalini awakening often report the same eerie experiences, no matter their background, no matter where in the world they are. They describe visions of past lives, not as dreams, but as real memories. Encounters with entities. Some describe angelic beings guiding them, others, dark forces trying to stop them. A complete rewiring of the mind, as if their brain is being reprogrammed into something entirely new. And then there's the biggest mystery of all. Once fully awakened, some people claim they gain abilities, things that should be impossible. Heightened intuition, knowing things before they happen. Spontaneous healing. Some report old injuries, even genetic conditions, disappearing. Out of body experiences, leaving their physical form and traveling to places unknown. Could it be that Kundalini isn't just an inner awakening, but a connection to something greater? Some ancient traditions suggest that when Kundalini reaches its highest point, the crown chakra, it breaks open a doorway. A direct link to what some call cosmic consciousness, source energy, or even the divine itself. And this is where the final secret comes in. The real reason Kundalini has been hidden, the real reason past life karma comes crashing down when it awakens, is because this energy isn't meant to just free you. It's meant to free humanity. If enough people activate it, if enough people remember who they truly are, then the systems of control, the cycles of reincarnation, the illusion of separation will all come crashing down. This is why they fear Kundalini. This is why they tell you it's just symbolic. This is why spiritual teachings have been watered down into shallow distractions. They don't want you to know that inside you, right now, is the potential to break free from every illusion ever placed upon you. So the final question is this: if this energy is already within you, waiting, dormant, what are you going to do about it? Most people will do nothing. They'll hear the warnings, feel the pull, sense the power, and then they'll turn away. Why? Because the truth is terrifying. Kundalini is not a trend, not a feel-good spiritual hobby. It's destruction before rebirth. And most people, they're not ready to be torn apart. But here's what no one talks about. You don't get to decide when this energy wakes up. Some people spend years, even decades, trying to awaken it through meditation, breathwork, and ritual. Others, they're hit with it out of nowhere. No warning, no preparation. And suddenly, their world is shattered. Because when Kundalini chooses you, it doesn't ask if you're ready. It burns through every illusion. The fake relationships, the false identities, the meaningless distractions you've built around yourself to feel safe. It rips them away. All of them. And this is why so many people break down after an awakening. They thought they were waking up to love and light. Instead, they woke up to the raw, unforgiving truth. And here's the darkest part. Some never make it through. They get stuck in the purge. They drown in the karmic backlash. Their minds fracture under the weight of too much truth, too fast. And in some cases, they don't come back at all. Because if you fight this energy, if you resist it, if you try to hold on to the person you used to be, it will destroy you. But if you surrender, if you let it burn through everything false, then something else happens. The pain stops. The fear dissolves. The old self dies, and something new takes its place. Something powerful. something limitless. Because this was never about suffering. It was never about punishment. It was about remembering. Remembering who you really are. What you've been. What you came here to do. And that's why Kundalini is rising now. Not just in individuals, but across the planet. The old structures are crumbling. The illusions are breaking down. And those who wake up first, they're the ones who will guide the rest when the time comes. Because make no mistake, the time is coming. And now, you know the truth. So what will you do with it? Most will ignore it. They'll feel the pull, the whisper in their spine, the strange electric hum in their body, and they'll convince themselves it's nothing. Just stress. Just a phase. Just their imagination. But deep down, they know something is happening. Because once Kundalini calls your name, you can't unhear it. And if you try to suppress it, if you try to drown it in distractions, numb it with routine, or silence it with denial, it will go away. It will wait. It will build. And when the time is right, it will break through, whether you're ready or not. Because this isn't just about personal enlightenment anymore. This is about something bigger. Have you noticed the world is shifting? Everything feels off. People are more disconnected, yet more restless. More lost, yet more desperate for meaning. The systems we've trusted for centuries, governments, religions, institutions, they're crumbling. Something is pushing reality to its breaking point. And those who are waking up, they're realizing that this has all happened before. Cycles of rise and fall, of awakening and suppression, of remembering and forgetting. Because here's the most terrifying truth. Humanity has been here before. The ancient civilizations, the ones we call myths, the lost empires, the vanished cultures, they knew about Kundalini. They understood its power. And some say, they mastered it. So what happened to them? Why did their knowledge disappear? Why do all the great ancient texts, from the Vedas to the Emerald Tablets, speak of a time when humanity forgot its true power? Could it be that something or someone made sure we did? Because if enough people activate this energy, if enough people break free from the illusion, then the control systems in place won't survive. And this is why the final battle isn't coming. It's already here. Not a war of weapons, a war of consciousness. And now you have a choice. Do you ignore the signs, let fear keep you asleep, and stay trapped in the cycles of karma, life after life, never remembering who you really are? Or do you take the path that most fear to walk? Because here's the ultimate truth. Kundalini isn't coming to save you. It's here to see if you are ready to save yourself. And now that you know this, there's no going back. And maybe that's the point. Once you've seen behind the curtain, once you've felt the energy stir inside you, once you've started to question everything, you cannot unsee it. The world doesn't look the same anymore. The things that used to matter, they feel hollow. The rules you used to follow, arbitrary. The limits you once believed in, exposed as lies. Because that's what Kundalini does. It doesn't just change you. It deletes the old you. And if that terrifies you, good. Because this path isn't supposed to feel safe. It was never meant for the faint-hearted. And for some, that might actually work. For a while. But here's what they don't understand. Kundalini never truly goes away. It's an ancient intelligence, older than your body, older than your mind, older than your very sense of self. And it's patient. If it doesn't break through in this life, it will wait for the next. And the next. And the next. Because this isn't just about you. This is about the entire cycle of human experience. The lifetimes you've lived, the debts you've carried, the knowledge you once had and lost. Kundalini is the key to breaking out of the loop. And that's why it's feared. Not because it's dangerous, though it absolutely can be, but because it leads to true freedom. And true freedom is uncontrollable. Because imagine what would happen if enough people activated their full potential. If they stopped living as programmed, predictable, easily manipulated beings, and started thinking, seeing, and existing beyond the limitations placed on them, the illusion would collapse. The entire system, built on ignorance, on karma, on repeating cycles of reincarnation and suffering, would fall apart overnight. And that is why, throughout history, every major power structure has tried to keep this knowledge hidden. Religions turned it into metaphor. Governments ignored it. The modern world ridicules it. And yet, it keeps awakening in people. Right now, at this moment, across the world, Kundalini is rising in more people than ever before. Why? Because something big is coming. A final shift. A breaking point. A moment where those who have awakened will be separated from those who remain asleep. And you're at the threshold. You've felt it. The pull. The pressure. The knowing that there's something more, something just beyond the veil. So now, you have to make a choice. You can turn away. Pretend this was just another strange idea, just another passing thought. Go back to sleep. Or you can step forward. Not with blind faith, not with empty hope, but with the understanding that this path is real, and it's waiting for you. Because the truth is, you were never meant to stay asleep. And now that you've heard all of this, ask yourself, why do you think you were meant to hear it?